Did you know that in 2025, while the world is obsessed with AI, electric everything, and space travel, there are still entire countries where millions of people don't even have access to basic education? It's something we rarely hear about, but it's real, and it's happening right now. Today, we're diving into the top 10 countries that are still not educated enough in 2025. But first, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments, because the more we talk about this, the more people might actually do something. Quick disclaimer before we start. This video is not meant to shame or insult any country. We're using public data from sources like UNESCO and World Bank to highlight countries where education is still out of reach. Not because people don't care, but because they're facing massive barriers like war, poverty, corruption, and cultural restrictions. This is about raising awareness, not pointing fingers. Let's begin. At number 10 is Sudan, where years of political chaos and conflict have left over 3 million children out of school. Schools are either shut down or poorly equipped. Many kids drop out early, especially girls, because of early marriage, work, or fear of violence. Teachers are underpaid, classrooms are overcrowded, and the literacy rate is barely above 60%. At number 9 is Haiti, still struggling after multiple natural disasters and economic collapse. Over 40% of school-aged children don't finish primary school. Public education is limited, private schools dominate, but they're expensive and inconsistent. Many families can't afford fees, and kids are often pulled into work or domestic servitude instead of school. Number 8 is Afghanistan, where the return of the Taliban in 2021 reversed years of progress. In 2025, girls are banned from secondary school in many areas, and some provinces have blocked education for women altogether. Even boys face poor conditions: no books, unpaid teachers, and schools targeted by extremists. Over 3.5 million kids are out of school, and 85% of them are girls. Number 7 is Chad, one of the world's poorest nations. Over 70% of adults are illiterate. Schools are rare, especially in rural areas. When they do exist, there are no supplies, no electricity, and no trained teachers. Girls often drop out early due to marriage, pregnancy, or chores. Families can't afford to let their kids study when survival comes first. At number 6 is Mali, where extremist groups have burned down schools and banned education in parts of the country. More than half the kids never finish primary school. In rural areas, some children have never even seen a classroom. Girls face huge obstacles: marriage, menstruation, and safety concerns. Even where schools exist, quality is low, and many kids can't read or write after years of attendance. Number 5 is the Central African Republic, one of the most fragile states on earth. War and displacement have destroyed the education system. Many schools are empty or abandoned, and teachers have fled or gone unpaid for years. The literacy rate is under 40%. Refugee children grow up without learning to read. Number 4 is South Sudan, where, honestly, girls are more likely to die in childbirth than graduate from school. The country has the world's lowest female literacy rate, less than 30%. Millions of children have no access to school, and even where schools exist, they're often just makeshift tents with barely any resources. Civil war and displacement have wiped out an entire generation of students. At number 3 is Somalia, where conflict, famine, and a lack of governance have made education nearly impossible. Most schools are privately run, expensive, and unregulated. Only about 30% of kids go to school at all. Girls are often pulled out for early marriage or household labor. Schools are unsafe and constantly under threat from extremist groups like Al-Shabaab. Number 2 is Niger, a country with one of the fastest growing populations in the world, but, the slowest growing education system. Schools are overcrowded, teachers are untrained, and the literacy rate is among the lowest globally. Girls often drop out before age 12 due to early marriage. In some regions, cultural norms treat schooling as optional, especially for daughters. And number 1 is Burkina Faso, where militants have attacked and closed thousands of schools. Over 2 million kids are currently out of school. Many communities live in constant fear, and families flee their homes to avoid violence. Even in peaceful areas, schools lack funding, teachers, and basic materials. The literacy rate is below 40%, and millions are growing up without even a chance to learn. Now, what do these countries have in common? They're not uneducated because people don't want to learn. In fact, in every one of these places, there are parents begging for schools to reopen and kids walking hours just to attend class. The problem is bigger: war, poverty, corruption, cultural pressure, gender inequality, and a total lack of support systems. And this isn't just a problem over there. Education impacts everything: health, jobs, equality, even global peace. When kids don't learn, entire societies suffer. So what can we do? Start small. Talk about it. Share this video. Support global education charities. Push your leaders to fund international education programs, because right now, millions of children are being left behind, not because they're lazy or unwilling, but because the world hasn't made them a priority. If you found this eye-opening, like this video, subscribe to the channel and drop a comment below. Which of these countries surprised you most? And what do you think needs to happen to fix this? Thanks for watching. And don't forget, education is not a luxury. It's a right.